A NewsX exclusive. When a Pakistani crew was helpless, India came to their rescue. Yesterday, NewsX showed the world how India, despite Pakistan's repeated betrayals, jumped to their rescue. Today, we have the exclusive footage of India's humanity on display, a telling video of how Pakistan fails yet again, and India, despite that, sets a precedent. Take a look at this video. It's a telling video that tells a story of its own. Let's go across to my colleague Ashish Singh for more on that story. Ashish, you broke that story yesterday. We showed our viewers pictures of this entire rescue effort carried out by the Indian Coast Guard. Today, we're also playing a video of that entire episode, which unfolded even as India-Pakistan tensions hit a new low. Take our viewers through the details of this exclusive story.
Certainly, Neha. On 9th morning, when one Pakistani Coast Guard vessel, Wahdat, that particular vessel was close to IMBL, the International Maritime Borderline between India and Pakistan. At that point of time, this particular mothership sent an RIB boat, a smaller boat, with 6 crew members of Pakistan Coast Guard. And that's when this boat capsized. It was around midnight on 8th night, and between 8th night and 9th early morning. And for after 8 to around 12 to 14 hours of search and rescue operation by the Pakistani helicopters, Zone-Air aircraft, Pakistani naval warship, Coast Guard ships, they could not locate any one of their lost 6 Coast Guard sailors. That's when the Pakistan DG called the Indian Coast Guard DG, Rajendra Singh, requesting to launch a search and rescue operation around the international maritime borderline between India and Pakistan. And these are the pictures of that particular rescue operation when India launched a couple of aerial assets. 3 to 4 ships of Indian Coast Guard were diverted. At least 2 names I can inform our viewers: ICGS Samrat and ICGS Arinjay. Now, this is the exact moment when the Pakistani sailors, at least out of 6, 2 were rescued alive. Unfortunately, 4 could not be saved. With the help of Indian fishermen and the boats that were fishing in the IMBL area, the Indian Coast Guard managed to retrieve 4 bodies of Pakistani sailors, and this is the Pakistani naval warship. Basically, this is the mothership to which the Indian Coast Guard handed over the Pakistani rescued alive Coast Guard sailors. This is the video. We have 4 parts of this video. You can see they are being fed properly. The medical treatment is being given to the Pakistani sailors on board Indian Coast Guard ship. They are writing a thank you letter to the commanding officer, and this is the moment when the Indian Coast Guard boat, this is an ICGS Samrat rubber boat that is approaching towards the Pakistan naval warship PNS Alamgir. There you see, in the next set of the video, will directly show the Pakistani warship. This is the huge warship of Pakistan that was allowed by Indian government to enter inside the Indian waters, and the Pakistani sailors were handed over to the Pakistan Navy. All this was happening at the time when the Pakistani government, Pakistani army, and the Pakistani judicial system, specifically the military code, was announcing through a press release that former Indian Navy commander Kulbhushan Jadhav will be hanged to death. Both the things were happening simultaneously on 10th afternoon, despite being aware of what Pakistan is doing to one of India's retired Navy commander. The Indian government Coast Guard went ahead and helped. Not only they rescued the Pakistani Coast Guard sailors, fed them, gave them medical treatment, and handed them safely back to Pakistan Navy.
All right, Ashish, thanks very much for bringing us those exclusive details. A powerful story, a telling story at that. All right, let's now get some reactions to that NewsX exclusive. I'm told we can go across to Lieutenant General B.S. Malik, a defense expert who joins us on the phone line. Lieutenant General Malik, if you can hear me, perhaps India's act of... All right, sir, if you can hear me. All right, Lieutenant General Malik actually joins us live now from the capital. So I was asking you, perhaps India's humanitarian gesture doesn't come as any surprise to any of us. But, you know, what would you say about the Pakistani attitude that, far from showing even a semblance of gratitude, continues to make the argument that, well, these are two different cases, Kulbhushan Jadhav and the case of Indian Coast Guard saving drowning Pakistan sailors. They keep saying, oh, don't draw comparisons between the two. We've not even had an expression of gratitude, sir, from Pakistan over this.
Neha, a country who is not grateful for 93,000, first time in the history of the world, POW being released without asking anything in return, I think for them, for us, it should not come as a surprise how they are now behaving. Look at each and every body that after encounter we have handed over to the Pakistanis with full military honors. And what have we been getting in return? Our soldiers mutilated, eyes gouged out.
Absolutely.
And
the case of
that,
Captain Saurabh Kalia is a very important one there, sir, isn't it?
Never left the track. Absolutely. I mean, the parents till today, or those who have got some idea of this incident, they still shudder to think that any country, that the army can behave like this to another soldier, an officer, a young man, and the way his body was mutilated, it is beyond all imagination and beyond any humanitarian sort of gesture to be expected of soldiers. Soldiers, we belong to a land where Porus is supposed to have told Alexander, how do you deal? It's a deal as a king deals with other king.
Right.
That is supposed to be the culture of this land, this subcontinent. And after becoming India and Pakistan, I think has gone, they have lost their way culturally,
right,
socially, militarily, diplomatically, right, and more important, politically.
Right.
The political system has gone in one direction and the military system has gone in other direction.
And it's very clear, sir, that it is the military that calls the shots in Pakistan, and Nawaz Sharif doesn't seem to be anything more than a puppet prime minister. Lieutenant General Malik, stay with us. Now I need to go across to Shiv Shankar Mukherjee, former diplomat who also joined us from the capital. Ambassador Mukherjee, come in here at this point. First, I'd like for you to share your thoughts with us on this NewsX exclusive that we've been carrying since yesterday. Sir, at a time when Pakistan was planning to send our former Indian naval officer, Kulbhushan Jadhav, to the gallows, you had, this instance of the Indian Coast Guard going out of their way to save drowning Pakistani soldiers, and far from showing even a semblance of gratitude towards India for its humanitarian gesture, you have Pakistani officials and other individuals continuing to justify what they are doing to our man. Of course, Lieutenant General there saying, what else can we expect from Pakistan? This is a country that brutalized our soldiers like Captain Saurabh Kalia, and therefore nothing better can be expected from that country. But really, sir, what does this say about Pakistan's conduct?
Well, first of all, let me say that as far as the conduct of our Coast Guard people are concerned, I am extremely not just happy. It's a matter of the greatest satisfaction that, faced with a situation like this, at a time like this, they chose to follow, the soldiers' code, the armed forces code. They chose humanity. In fact, this I think they would have done even if the situation between India and Pakistan was even worse, if there was actual conflict going on. This is what they should have done. This is what,
and this is what we as Indians do, I guess, sir. That's the message we've sent out yet again, that this is who we are as a people.
Who that other side belongs. And precisely, we have to choose. We have to choose what we are and who we are. Pakistan has to choose what they are and what they want to be. We have this example, I'm not trying to generalize here, but this example shows that these people who are tasked with protecting people, protecting our shores, extend their humanity to whoever needs help. Now, that I think is something worth congratulating them. They did their duty and went ahead and did it beyond the call of duty. Now, on the question of why Pakistan should be grateful and so on, frankly, I never expected it, even as I saw the first pictures on the TV in your channel. You know, there's a wonderful story from Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar, our great, India's, you know, historical figure, the great educationist and scholar. When he was told that somebody was saying bad things about him,
right,
he said, I wonder why I have not done anything to help him. You know, which is somewhat like the Chinese saying,
right,
why do you hate me? I have not helped you. When you have a country like Pakistan, and I make a distinction between the Pakistani people and the ruling clique, the clique of the generals and the
right, because we certainly like to believe that there are senior voices within Pakistan.
They will never, in fact, I'm telling you, I'm not exaggerating, they would have been pleased rather if our Coast Guard had refused to help the people that were in danger of losing their lives. The fact that they did their duty as human beings, as professionals, in fact, displeases them even more. If you understand what I'm saying, psychologically,
right,
because they are a country in denial, because they're obsessed with their, you know, their hatred for what India stands for.
Absolutely.
They, in fact, are even more angry at this display of the regard for humanity. This is what Pakistan has become.
Right,
This
but
is what
what's
they've done to
unfortunate
themselves.
is that nothing seems to shame them, nothing seems to embarrass them. They continue to be brazen about everything. But, you know, I think we can all say proudly as Indians today that India has once again taken a humanitarian stance and perhaps set an example once again for the world and indeed for Pakistan. Of course, Pakistan chooses never to learn. That's a different matter altogether. Ambassador Mukherjee and Lieutenant General Malik, stay with us. We want to come back to you in just a moment. But before that, let's play for our viewers an interview that we've got with an uncle of Kulbhushan Jadhav, whose life hangs in the balance right now. But his uncle says he is proud of the Indian government. Let's listen in.
पूरे मामले को लेकर फैमिली का क्या कहना है?
पूरी क्या फैमिली क्या कहना है? We are in different. Actually, sky has collapsed from in the house. What action will we going to take? You know, we are totally in the deep sorrow.
We totally agree that. But then, sir, what is your plea to government now? The government is uniting together. All Indians are united together, and they are demanding a kind of way out at diplomatic level. What is your plea or request to government? What do you plead to government?
No, actually, government is doing good things. I'm proud about it. They are doing it. No, all opposition leaders, even MIS and all the ministries and all government. Even Sushma Swaraj also spoke very nice about it. We got sort of relief come to me. And Rajnath Singh also spoke very high about it.
Yes.
Then opposition leader also talked. So I'm got some relief, no? At least we get chance, we bring the God.
You have high hopes from Prime Minister Narendra Modi?
Beg pardon, he is also, hello, beg pardon?
I'm saying you have high hopes from Prime Minister Narendra Modi?
Definitely. Definitely.
Okay.
Definitely I got. Very high.
Sir, the kids of Kulbhushan, they are almost young, and they all might be expressing something. If you can just share what they say.
No, what do you want to say?
I'm saying the kids.
Well, this must be an impossibly difficult time for Kulbhushan Jadhav's family as they continue to wait in this situation of extreme uncertainty We don't know what fate eventually is going to befall Mr. Jadhav, but of course the entire country is right now praying for his safe return to India. Can the Indian government pull that off right now remains the big question. All right, let me now return to our panel. Shiv Shankar Mukherjee and Lieutenant General B.S. Malik are still with us. Lieutenant General Malik, if I could come back to you. We've, of course, since yesterday, or perhaps for the last 2 days, been talking about what options are available to India at the moment. There is a lot of anger in the country. Many have said, yes, we need to teach Pakistan a lesson. We need to say enough is enough. But I'm not sure if the military option is really on the table at the moment. People are talking about diplomatic options. People are talking about economic options. The option of economic sanctions. So where do you stand on this debate? What do you think India really needs to do at this stage? Because this is a matter of utter urgency and this man's life is at stake.
Neha, let's take things one by one. Firstly, in your conversation, maybe these things should be shunned, because we should sound and we should be quite confident that we will be able to get Kulbhushan Jadhav back, because this despondency should not come out in our expression in any form. Second, as far as the media is concerned, they have done a marvelous job. You have been leading this with your stories. You are the first one who broke the story in some form. Now, the third thing is, look at the way the parliament has, the debate went on. And today's newspaper and news items in media, social media, everywhere are full of that voice of India as one. All parties across their party affiliations have spoken in one voice, and government has taken the cue. Government very strongly, you heard the foreign minister, you heard the home minister, very strongly telling that they will have to bear the consequences.
Right.
Now, the question that comes in, before I tell you what are the options, is that whom do you respond to? As far as Pakistan is concerned...
So it's very clear. It's the Pakistan army which is in control. It's the Pakistan army that is calling the shots. Most people seem to believe Nawaz Sharif was probably not even in the know till 2 days ago.
They are not in power. Exactly, he is not in the loop at all, because right from 2014, the army, when they started these courts, amended the constitution, they have taken the law of the land, that is of Pakistan, in their own hand. And then 2017, this year, in the month of January, the sunset clause was done away with. They extended these general court-martials for another 2 years. So the government with whom we are supposed to be talking, who are supposed to take the conversation forward, who are supposed to be affected, they are not in the loop.
Absolutely. And sir, every time we see Nawaz Sharif is left with no choice but to toe the army's line. You heard him say Pakistan is ready to face any sort of aggression. That's the sort of response that we've got even from the civilian government. You have a Sartaj Aziz saying the law of the land has been followed, despite the fact that the same Sartaj Aziz said in the month of December that there wasn't enough evidence against Kulbhushan Jadhav. Shiv Shankar Mukherjee, if I could come back to you at this stage. You know, Lieutenant General Malik seems to make the point that we can't give up hope. We need to be optimistic. But it's very hard to be optimistic at this stage, isn't it? Given that this is a country that has brutalized and mutilated our soldiers like Captain Saurav Kalia in the past. They've beheaded our soldiers. Look what happened to Sarabjit Singh. Look what happened to prisoners like Jamil Singh. The question is, isn't it hard to be optimistic at this stage? All right, it looks like we've lost the line there to Ambassador Mukherjee. We'll try and go back to him in just a moment. All right, at this stage, let's quickly tell you what our big focus is going to be on the 9 o'clock news tonight. They frame and kill, we save lives. India puts Bajwa and Co to shame. That of course, is our exclusive story. Pakistan crew rescued, saved and fed and sent back home. It's really a story of our humanity versus their brutality. What we are saying is Pakistan needs to wake up and send Jadhav back.